What's going on, family? Welcome to Oracle Conversations, where we have conversations and pull oracle cards about whatever comes up. My name is Natasha. It is a pleasure to meet you. How you doing? How are you? Now, well, I can understand that. If you're doing good, great. Keep that energy flowing to you, okay? I will say what I always say in just about every video. Make sure you're reading your natal charts and understanding the transits for yourself if you're having issues with doing that. I can provide a list for you of astrologers that can help you better off do that. There are great astrologers right here on YouTube that can help you do that. But what comes up today is, what are you doing with the messages that you're receiving? All of this watching, right? What are you doing with the messages that you're receiving? Are you applying any of the information that you're receiving? Are you researching, looking into it? What actually applies to you? Because all messages have a way of have the ability to be instilled into your life. So what are you doing with the messages that you're receiving? What are you doing with the information that you're consuming in? What are you doing with the knowledge that it is that you know, have learned, are learning, right? What are you doing with what are you doing with the information? There are messages all day, every day. Okay, the universe is always talking. And we're always like, well, I haven't heard. I don't know. There's always something for you to respond to. There is always direction that can be altered, changed with what is coming in to you. But what are you doing with it? You know what I mean? If you don't know what I mean, let's get into it a little more. I'm just going to pull here from our, I'm pulling from the Oracle deck. I keep forgetting the name of this deck. But I love it, and we're going to use it, okay, to instill more messages. I'm sorry I don't have that, because I know sometimes that's important to you guys that watch these type of videos. So here's the deal, collective, okay? The universe is always talking. Through trees, through birds, through people connected to you, through videos you watch, through books you read, through your coworkers, through ideas that you have. You may not be talking to anyone, and you just get downloads, right? Downloads come in many different forms, shapes, and fashions, whether it be through a song or just you hearing yourself. And I know a lot of people don't have that specifically. Like sometimes, like if you close your mouth, and you still hear yourself, right? You still hear yourself talking or, communicating in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Those are all messages for you. If you're watching this video, messages for you. If you're reading certain types of books or literature, that message is for you. Okay? And it's for you first because you're the one receiving it. Now, you may need to convey it to someone else. You may need to apply it to yourself in some way, shape, form, or fashion so that others can see you instilling the information that you're intaking and know that it works. Sometimes people can see things through action and know that it works. And it doesn't have to be working for you, but working for someone else, right? We set examples, as they say. Let me just tell you that as long as you are searching, you will be finding. As long as you are attempting to realize that things you hear, things you see, conversations you may have, even in passing, right? It doesn't have to be someone that you know or is a fixture in your life. It applies in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, it is up to you to recognize it, see it, know it, and apply it. And know that no matter what may be conveyed or coming into you, that it is always for you first. Messages are always for you first and then for others, right? And we must learn to be able to decipher those. Discernment is very important, especially now, right? With all of the changes that are happening in this world that we are living in this dimension, in this time frame. There is always something for us to understand, see, know, and apply. And I know we may be having a hard time with that. Okay? So change. It is upon us, right? We can see it happening. Shifts, rules, regulations, policies, procedures. Everything is changing. No matter where it is you stay in the world. Okay? No matter what continent you live on. No matter what language you speak. Change is upon us. Don't scare yourself with the next 40 steps. All you need is that one next action. You can say to love, just show me the first step and change me into one who can take it. Understand that change is inevitable. Change is happening. Change is going to be a part of your world, whether you want to accept it or not. It is going to happen, okay? Changing your relationships, changing your financial situation, change in your living situation, change in your relationships around you, all relationships, not just intimate ones, right? Changes as a mother, as a father, as a sister, brother, cousin, changes to relatives, families, friends, change in relationship to yourself. Things that you used to accept, you don't accept no more, right? Think about the course of your life, and it will continue to do so as you evolve in your humanness, as you continue on this human journey. Self-acceptance. Nothing is more exhausting than endlessly working on yourself. Whew, tell me about it, child, okay? When you offer your whole being fully to love, self-acceptance arises spontaneously. May I rest in our oneness, dear divine. Rest in the oneness. Rest in the collective energy that is shifting. And learn to not only accept where you are right now, accept what is coming, but accept the change to what it is that you are accepting for yourself, for the people around you, in relation to yourself. Okay, as you accept things for yourself, you create these boundaries that people have to adjust to, that maybe they didn't have to adjust to before. All of a sudden, you don't want to eat meat. Everybody in your house eats meat. And they're like, well, what are we supposed to do? You can adjust with me, or we can find common ground to adjust how we do our intake of meat. Maybe start off slow, right? And this is just an example. Everybody's not about to stop eating meat. It's just not going to happen, okay? Just like everybody's not going to agree on everything. But you can create a structure around yourself, which will create boundaries for other people to fall in line or separate from you from. And that can be a hard pill to swallow, especially if you have to separate from people that you don't really want to separate from, or stop doing things that you don't want to alter the whole thing. Just, I only want a little bit, but the universe is saying this is what you need to do in order to have this thing. And acceptance of that can be difficult, right? Relationships. All about collective relationships, and when we say collective, it means everyone, including me. It means everyone, including those around you. Relationships, relating to the ships that are connected to you, the ships that you are on, the ships that you share. I call in the infinite power of love to take over this union in every way. May it fully belong to the divine. Let it unfold in a perfect way for each of us. I needed fear, letting go of control. My needs are always abundantly met. And let me just say this, a lot of us get on these platforms and we give advice and we give out information, attempting to control a narrative for other people that you really can't control, right? People take in information and apply it to themselves in the way that they need to apply it to. And I want a lot of us that are on these platforms doing things like what I'm doing, giving out information, because I don't really like to say advice. I'm giving information for people to either apply it or not, or just to think about how others around them may be thinking, maybe wanting to move, maybe wanting to change. Because even if it is not you, someone around you may want to restructure their life in a way, and it may not include you. So we have to accept that as well, not just our own boundaries, but others' boundaries and others' elevation, and others, and that wasn't a question, by the way, I was just getting the word out. Others' elevation, others' changes that they make to themselves. This is a conversation that we're having. Thank you, universe, for that. This is a conversation that we are having, that we're needing to have, so that we know what we want for ourselves. And when I say we, I mean I mean you. What is it that you internally want? And a lot of us don't know the answer to that question, which is why we are now searching for that first. And then you can build around that. Build around what it is that you want for yourself. Build around what it is that you know at this moment, in this present time, how you want to manage your money, how you want to love and be loved, how you want to communicate with others so that they fully understand that it is not a dig, I guess. That's not really the word I'm looking for. But it's not a I'm just gonna go with the word dig, but that's not really the word I'm looking for. But it's not a dig at them per se, but it's more about what your inner self needs in order to live a life of fulfillment. And we as a collective need to understand that everybody doesn't understand what a life of fulfillment means truly for them, because we are a lot of people have been used to following so much that whatever someone else tells them is what they need for themselves, is what they consume and what they take in. Well, so and so said I need to do this, so I'm just going to do this, and that's going to fulfill my life. And then years down the line, months, weeks, days, hours even, you realize, yeah, that's not really what I want for me per se, but it is a thing that other people may want. And we have to, well, you don't have to accept anything, but it is necessary to at least attempt to understand that their wants and needs and desires for their fulfillment is not yours. And trying to force someone into what it is that you want is not acceptable, is the word that came to mind, but that's not the word I want to use either. But maybe I should use that word. It's just not acceptable. It's not acceptable to force someone into accepting what it is. It's your job to instill it in yourself, and if they want to accept it, they can, and if they don't want to. They don't have to. They don't need to. Not for you to fulfill the things that it is that you need. Someone else will come along that aligns with what it is that you want. Something else will come along that aligns with the things that you want for you, so that you can continue on in your journey. But it doesn't have to be that person, that situation, that circumstance, okay? Aging is the process. I am one with unlimited love, beyond all seeming restrictions of age. I am filled with joy, energy, and beauty, a vessel for the divine Shakti. Now, in this thing called life, there is a process, right? A process to living, a process to what it is that, not even necessarily what you're here to do, because even that comes as you are learning self-acceptance, right? Relationships, changes, because I think that is another bigger portion of what we have a problem with when shifts happen. Because even if you're going on your life path and things are going what you feel like are great, and you've instilled this thing, you went to school, you've acquired all the certifications, you have the things that it is that you want in your life, and there will always be adjustments. And I think humans have an issue with the fact that there will always be adjustments. Do you not agree? I mean, we are upset every time something shifts, because humans don't really like change very much. It's one thing I'm realizing on this journey. We don't really like change. I don't care what your sign is, what your placements are. The acceptance of change is like, oh, here we go again. I gotta move. Here we go again. I gotta change jobs. Here we go again. I'm married and divorced, or I gotta adjust to this thing that I don't want to adjust to. I have to recreate myself in a way that I don't want to recreate myself. I have to move in a direction that I don't really want to move, but I know that this move will help this next move, or, and I don't mean like physical move, but just changes in situations and circumstances. My health is failing, so now I got to change my diet. I got to watch what I eat. I might have to work out more. I'm going to have more doctor's appointments to make sure what I'm doing is effective, especially if you're holistic, because the medicine world does not blend with the holistic world. Okay, especially in the United States of America. It's like, what do you want to do that for? And then, if you are of a different shade, and you believe a different thing, when you have to combat with a doctor, then you have to find a new doctor. Things of that nature, like, and I'm using health as an example, but you can fill that with anything, right? Money circumstances change. Now you have to do a thing that you wouldn't normally want to do or have to do, whether it be get city, county, state government help, or, minimize what you may feel like is minimizing yourself, when actually it is an aid into your next great thing. Maybe we need to start thinking about shifts and changes in our life that way, right? This is going to aid me to my next great thing. This is going to help me adjust my thinking and my thought process about how I accept a thing or don't accept a thing in my life. Aging into different levels and elevations, right? From your 20s to your 30s to your 40s to your 50s to your 60s. Every decade has a different challenge, right? Every decade has a different shift. And I mean, even if I use myself as an example, because we're having a conversation here, I have lived through multiple eras, right? I remember when AOL started, when the internet came, and everybody was like, what is this? Oh, goodness, blah, 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 blah. It's going to ruin the world. It's going to ruin the world. It's going to ruin the world, right? And then email saved a bunch of businesses. A lot of businesses were built once AOL came along. Okay. And then here comes Facebook and MySpace. MySpace and then Facebook. Vine, all of those things. Social media platforms begin to arrive. And it's like, oh my goodness, we can talk to people in other countries now without delays through mail and issues with the phone line. It's like I can just click this button and talk to people in Bolivia or wherever, right? Across the water. And then, I mean, even if you go further back, when women didn't have rights, and now they do, and they couldn't have charge cards, and now they can. So, women are more empowered now. We have our own credit, we have our own businesses, we have our own skylines. And as the world kept changing, we've had to adjust as humans. Through the aging of Earth, through the aging of ourselves, we've had to adjust. There is always adjustments that need to be made. There is always shifts, turns, and redirections, right? And I think it's very important that we listen to ourselves first, right? Self-acceptance of ourselves, where we are, and what skills we can acquire or change to make our lives better. Because there is always more skills. Like me and my children now are practicing our Spanishes and our Frenches, right? To become a more better asset to things that we are building around ourselves. I'm a big person about having other incomes outside of work. Now, everyone in my house works. But they also have other sources of income, whether it be, and most of it is through the internet in some way, shape, or form, or fashion. We have YouTube channels. Everybody has a YouTube channel at my house. Everybody has other platforms that they use to build an interest in what they have to offer. And not only that, but they've also started learning other things that can bring in income, like dividends and other sources. So there is me in saying all of that, there is always adjustments to be made. Like I said, in my own life, I have been having to redirect and make adjustments, and not just because of the panini, but because of the elevation, because of the shifts and turns. Planets are always moving. There will always be conjunctions. There will always be retrogrades. There will always be semi-squares, quincunxes, and all of the other things that align us for change. How are you adjusting to the change? What information are you instilling that's helping your change? That's helping you be better? Change through the aging. Okay? What situation are you in right now? Relationship, circumstance, that you are altering or attempting to alter, attempting to adjust to, so that you can have a better whatever, a better income, a better relationship, a better whatever, to your better whatever. What changes are you accepting? What boundaries are you creating? What information are you intaking in, and what's new skill are you acquiring to make it better? Because there has to be some action from you, and we need to understand that we don't need to have all the answers, because we don't. The truth of the matter is we don't. And I don't care what anybody says, what scholar you listen to, nobody has the answers. You must seek within for the answers for yourself, for the things that it is that you want for yourself, for your family, for your friends, but mainly for yourself first, because that will formulate situations and circumstances around you, and that will give you always what you need before what you want. But it will also give you what you want, because what you need is also what you want. Now, what are you doing? I love you. We will keep the conversations going. And I hope, not hope, but I want you to know that what you want wants you. And you just need to instill the boundaries. You need to instill the knowledge. You need to instill because the desire is already there. So, get to work. Understand that things take time. I know y'all hate to hear that, because I hate to hear that. But that is just the truth. Now, that is the truth, okay? Whether humans know everything or not, whether we have all the answers or not, time is inevitable. And I want you to know that you have more of it than you think you do. Blessings.